Hello and a very good evening. Today is Mahalaya, a day that marks the beginning of Durga Puja, a day when Pitri Paksh ends and Devi Paksh begins. In Bengali it said Pitri Pakkhor Binash, Devi Pakkhor Suchana, which means beginning of Ma Durga, the advent of Durga Puja days. And this Mahalaya 2024, while had been inflicted with a lot of emotional turbulence, I would say, at least in Kolkata, in Bengal, especially at the backdrop of Arjikor Medical College and Hospital, brutal rape and murder. As what do we begin today? How do we begin today? What do we celebrate today? And in what way we actually ask Ma to come to our land? Well, celebrations, festivals, religious festivities are all there, emotionally integral to our existence. But then this time, Arjikor had heard one and all. This Mahalaya is just not about Arjikor, however. I will come to that. But first thing first, as the day began with Mohishashurmurdini by Birendra Krishna Bhadro in Kolkata, across Bengal, people literally woke up to that sound, the powerful sound of Birendra Krishna Bhadro doing the Chondi part. The morning seemed like the same, like every year. But by the time the evening came, the feeling started changing for everyone. Yes, we are hot with Arjikor Medical College and Hospital incident, but there's something else too that has hurt us. At the very bank of Hooghly, here in Kolkata, what you see behind me are pictures that tell a story. Pictures of anger, pictures of protest, pictures of resilience, pictures of togetherness, pictures of resolve, pictures that tell the story that we haven't forgotten Arjikor while we usher in Durga Puja. And thus, people have started floating these candles, these diyas on the bed of Ma Ganga as a message to Ma Ganga that this is the same water where people have taken a dubki in the morning to mark the beginning of Devi Pokho. And at this very water, in the evening, the flames have been released as the flames of anger, as the flames of resilience, as the flames of one voice that we all want justice. But this too is not the entire story this evening. This too does not tell you the complete story this evening. This too isn't the only story that India is watching. At this point in time, while we let the backdrop be the same, at this point in time, let the sound of dhaki be there, filling in the air. At this point in time, when the feeling of festivals have just come in, even when there is a deep-seated fight in us that we would be fighting for justice, let that be. But we will tell you the story. The other thing that happened on Wednesday, you know what? Ram Rahim, rape convict, has been released from jail, has been released from a jail in Haryana. Of course, it's a temporary release, but for 20 days, he would be out of the jail. Ram Rahim, a rape convict. I'm not calling him an accused anymore. Ram Rahim is a rape convict. He has been convicted by the law of the land, by the court of this land. And thus, he is a rapist. One who has been sentenced to life imprisonment has come out on parole. And you know what parole is? Parole is discretion of a government. You know which government? Haryana government. You know which party? BJP. You know what's going on in Haryana. Otherwise, it's about to go for elections on Saturday. Yes, it's a poll-bound state, and there is a model code of conduct in place. And the code of conduct, or the conduct which would be setting the very wrong model for everyone, that a rapist has been given parole at the discretion of a government after consultation with the Election Commission of India, another statutory body that comes at the center, independent of course, but Election Commission of India, in consultation with the state government of Haryana, which is with the BJP, decided to give parole. So on the day of Mahalaya, a day which marks the beginning of Devi Pokho, Devi Paksh, same day, Ram Rahim, a rapist, has been given parole for 20 days. So yes, that is our focal point. Yes, we are not shifting ourselves away from our jihad. We have not shifted ourselves from our jihad. Our focus is there, and we want justice. But they who have been taking the streets day in, day out, at times with political flags, at times with black banners, at times along with civil rights activists demanding justice. Where are they today? Where are they today? Why are they not out on the street letting us know as why a rapist has been given parole? And you know what are the reasons for this application of parole? You want to know as why he has been given parole? You really want to know as why he has been given parole? You can go and find it out. But I don't care a damn. He's a rapist to me. And a rapist has been given a temporary release. And then we want to set the right precedent. Well, entire nation is seeking justice for our jihad. This is the precedent that you are setting in. What happened to Supreme Court today? Supreme Court has taken suo motu cognizance of the Archicor case with the assurance that we will be given justice. We all would be given justice. Doctors will be given justice so that justice doesn't get derailed. Is this law? Is this law assuring us of faith in the system that has promised us justice? And you know how many times he has gotten parole? We have kept account. In the past 4 years, he has received parole, that is temporary release, for 15 times. Ram Rahim, who is he? People in Haryana, in Uttar Pradesh, in some parts of Uttarakhand call him some guru. You really want to call a rapist a guru? उनमें आपको रब दिखता है, उनमें आपको भगवान दिखता है, उनमें आपको क्या दिखता है? मुझे सिर्फ उनमें एक रेपिस्ट दिखता है, बिकॉज मेरे देश की कानून उनको एक रेपिस्ट कहा है. मेरे देश के कानून ने उनको रेपिस्ट करारा है, तो मैं उनको रेपिस्ट ही बुलाऊंगा. एंड देयर इज नथिंग एल्स दैट आई कैन थिंक ऑफ. On the day of Mahalaya, and why should you be surprised? On the day of India's Independence Day, just 2 years back, 11 convicted rapists of Bilkis Banu, convicted rapists and murderers of Bilkis Banu case, were given remission by Gujarat government on the day of India's independence. That's right, 15th of August 2022, right ahead of Gujarat elections. They were given remission. कि जाओ जाओ जाओ, जी लिया बहुत अपना जिंदगी जेल में, अभी जियो अपनी जिंदगी बाहर में, खुश रहो, आबाद रहो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है आप रेपिस्ट हो? Did that sink in? Did that sink in? For me, of course not. And today, on the day of Mahalaya, which marks the beginning of Durga Pujo, Ma Durga, the one who embodies power, is considered to be the epitome of power, woman power. On the beginning of Devi Pokho in 2024, for the 15th time, Ram Rahim has come out of jail. There were security guards who had given him absolute security cover. Nicely, he had been taken inside to his own dera. And what did we all do? Watch it. What did we all do? Just watch it. In Kolkata, we want justice. In Bengal, we want justice. And in Haryana, we don't want justice. For Bilkis Banu, we don't want justice. For two women he had raped and he is convicted of raping, they don't want justice. So if today Ram Rahim can be granted parole, tomorrow the man who is responsible for the crime, man or men responsible for the Arjikor crime, tomorrow they can also be granted parole. And you all want us to fight for justice. And that this is a fight for justice. Let's put up the graphics. September 2024, which is now, he has been granted 20 days parole, right ahead of Haryana polls. August 13, 2024, just a month back, he was again out on parole for 21 days. Then in January 2024, ahead of Lok Sabha elections, he was on parole for 50 days. November 21, 2023, he was on parole for 21 days, again ahead of Rajasthan polls. July 20, 2023, and you hear the sound, we want justice. You know, there are protesters who are raising the slogan, we want justice, here in Kolkata. I am reporting from Kolkata, and I'm sure this had been echoing all across the country, reverberating all across the country. And I'm sure this would also be reaching Haryana. I'm sure this would also be reaching to the dera of Ram Rahim, wherever he is putting up now. On July 20, 2023, he has been given parole for 30 days, right ahead of Haryana Panchayat polls. January 21, 2023, he has been given parole for 40 days, again ahead of Haryana Panchayat polls. October 15, 2022, 40 days parole ahead of Adampur by poll. June 17, 2022, 30 days parole given ahead of Haryana municipal poll body, municipal polls. Then you have February 7, 2022, 21 days of parole given to Ram Rahim ahead of Punjab elections. May 21, 2021, 1 day of parole was given, an emergency parole. And in October 24, 2020, he was once again given one emergency parole for 1 day. Now just replace the scene. This happening in Bengal, and instead of Ram Rahim, it is the convicted rapist, one who had raped and murdered the Arjikor doctor. What would have been your reaction? How would you have reacted then? And am I reacting any way different? And I'm not reacting differently, or I'm reacting this way because I'm not in Haryana and I'm in Bengal. I'd have reacted the same way had I been there in Haryana or Uttar Pradesh or Delhi or Maharashtra, anywhere. Had this happened in Bengal, I'd have reacted the same way. A rapist cannot be shown leniency. So either you show your vow that you want to fight every forms of crime against women, and you would set the right example, you would set the right precedent so that no one dares to do something wrong to women, so that every punishment is seen as a deterrent, and then you give parole to rapists, convicted rapists. Now that would set an example for other rapists. Tomorrow, citing Ram Rahim, somebody can just say that, I need parole because I have this work, that work. So what, I have raped. I want parole. Will that be acceptable? And is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence that right ahead of elections, always, he has been given parole? And who gives parole? The government. And here's a catch. Haryana goes to polls, so there is model code of conduct, right? I've accessed a document. This is a document which I've accessed. It's basically the Election Commission of India's note to all chief secretaries of all states and union territories sent in 2019 ahead of 2019 Lok Sabha election. Titash, is it up on the screen? Okay, so I will read it out. What does it say? It says, general election to Lok Sabha 2019, restriction on release of drug offenders on parole during elections regarding. And what does the note say? Sir, ma'am, I am directed to refer to the subject cited and to state that the model code of conduct shall apply in cases of release of convicts on parole. If state government considers, if state government considers that release of any convict on parole is absolutely essential for certain compelling reasons, these are not my words. These are Election Commission of India's words. So Election Commission of India is saying, see, the state government considers that release of any convict on parole is absolutely essential for certain compelling reasons. In that case, state government shall consult the chief electoral officer concerned before granting parole. The parole should be given in cases of extreme emergency, and it should be ensured that they do not indulge in any election-related activities. Further releasing of drug offenders on parole should be strictly prohibited. However, if grant of parole to such offender becomes necessary for certain reasons, then advance intimation shall be given to police and drug law enforcement agencies, including NCB, zonal units, so that a watch on their activities can be kept. So, if there is a specific note for drug offenders, there is also a note for the state governments. As what is the general policy on parole under Model Code of Conduct? It's only when the state government decides that under some compelling reason, Election Commission of India's words, compelling reasons, they find it necessary to grant someone parole, then that application has to be consulted with the Chief Electoral Officer, which, who comes under the Election Commission of India. And that's exactly what happened. So the question before the BJP-run Haryana government is, what was so compelling to release a rapist on parole? What was so compelling that you have to release a rapist on parole? After all, it's your decision. You have just consulted with the Chief Electoral Officer, as is the protocol, stated by the Election Commission of India. So what did you find compelling, BJP government in Haryana? Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao. On 15th of August 2022, empowerment of women was the centrifugal call that came as the message from the Prime Minister. And the same day, Bilkis Banu's rapists were given remission. And it's absolutely fine with BJP as a political party in opposition in some state, demanding justice or taking out protest rallies against the ruling government, demanding justice in cases of rapes. It is the prerogative of everyone. Everyone should do it. But can they please explain what was so compelling that you had to grant a rapist parole? What is so compelling that you would be so kind-hearted to a rapist? If tomorrow I am behind bars for a heinous crime, will I be entitled to a parole as easily as Ram Rahim? And I'm sorry, I'm not calling him any guru. Whoever wants to call him guru can, but I will not. If the court of my land, if the law of my land has called him a rapist, I'm sorry, I can't respect a rapist. And I need not be a feminist for that. I did not have to swear for women empowerment for that. This is basic humanity, basic human being. If you have violated another human life, and somebody in the course of the protest had told me, if you're not for another human life, I'm not for your life. In fact, after Arjikor happened, there had been a chorus growing louder and louder. Should capital punishment be the ideal punishment for rapists? In fact, we also ran a campaign, hashtag hang the rapist. So unfortunately, I cannot respect a man who is a rapist, convicted rapist, even if he is regarded as a guru by some in some part of the country. So we have shown you the Election Commission of India note that says it is purely the chief election, state government's discretion. And you have also shown us how many times Ram Rahim has come out Again, while we have shown you it is the prerogative and was the prerogative of Haryana government, BJP run Haryana government to grant parole to a rapist, Ram Rahim, I'm sure you have seen their protest rallies in Kolkata. Let's play those visuals, Titash. I have sent you some videos on WhatsApp. They had held a demonstration, a sit-in demonstration for good 7 to 8 days or even more, with their flags, placards demanding justice, with the slogan Dabi Ek, Dofa Hak, Mukhyamantri Padotyak, means there is only one demand: resignation of the chief minister. And they also said they want justice. In fact, BJP with their political flags had conducted full-fledged 9 or 10 day long sit-in demonstration, protest demonstration right at the heart of the city, at Dharmatala. We have those visuals. I'm laughing because it is too much of an irony. It's too much of a dichotomy to digest. And again I say, this development comes. Ram Rahim has walked out of the jail on temporary release after being granted 20 days of parole. And this came on a day when we are all observing Mahalaya, the beginning of Devi Pokko. We want everyone to worship women. We want everyone to respect women. We want everyone to understand the worth of a woman. We all want to understand that woman is a mother, the protector, absolutely powerful, not dependent on men. We want everyone to understand that this power of women is not limited to Durga, Ma Durga alone. It's there in every woman, and that should not be tried and tested. No one should dare violate it. Today, who violated Ma Durga? Today, who violated Ma Durga? Today, who violated the power of woman? Ram Rahim, after receiving the blessing from who? Well, we want to leave you with the visuals that you get to see here. Well, there could be a lot of things happening across the country, but in order to realize what you're up for and what is your objective, at times you need to get back to the roots. And we come back to the roots. We come back to the very bank which had seen the beginning of Devi Pokko this morning. And as we come here, we see diyas being lit up by people, by protesters demanding justice for Arjikor. We will do a detailed report on where things are standing as far as Arjikor is concerned, and why are they standing there as where they're standing pertaining to Arjikor alone. That detailed report will be coming out tomorrow. But for now, we just want to leave you with this. Ram Rahim, a convicted rapist, has come out on parole. I see somebody singing song. I see somebody dropping those diyas on the water. Somebody just praying before Ma Ganga. I don't know what to pray and who to pray for. I only leave you tonight with this little hope that our fight for justice will not be misguided, and our fight for justice will not get obfuscated. Our fight for justice will be holistic, and our fight for justice would see the end of it, where we realize the power of respecting a woman. And the day we realize that, I'm sure no government would ever find it compelling enough to release a convicted rapist on parole. Forget ahead of election or not. I leave you with the visuals as how on the day people have done Torpon, Mahalaya has happened, Devi Pokko has begun. On the same day, we are losing bandwidth. On the same day, on the same evening rather, people have come down here to offer their prayers in the form of a diya, a burning flame, symbolic of a burning anger in the hearts of one and all. We are all hurt with Arjikor. and release of Ram Rahim, convicted rapist. It is like rubbing salt on our wounds, literally sprinkling salt on our wounds. Yes, we are crying for justice, but should we only cry for justice and fight it hard so that no one ever dares to sprinkle salt on our wounds? It's something we need to understand. And thus I say, our fight should remain ours. It should not get appropriated, not get obfuscated, and certainly not by them. It cannot really get appropriated by them who release the rapist of Bilkis Banu on remission, who release Ram Rahim on temporary parole, not once but multiple times. And in fact, the jailer who had approved parole to Ram Rahim is contesting election in Haryana on a BJP ticket. It's too much of a coincidence. I'm so sorry, I'm laughing. Maybe something is burning inside. And the civil way of expressing it, it's either a smile or that flame. And I leave you with this picture of a flame. We have sent you those videos, and I leave you with those visuals of burning flame on the heart of Ma Ganga. And I'm sure you'll find it easy enough to sink in your hearts and your minds. And I say once again, on the day of Mahalaya, the day Devi Pokko has started, Ram Rahim has been granted, not granted, Ram Rahim has come out of jail. A convicted rapist has come out of jail on temporary release under parole. The ultimate honor to women empowerment and the fight to empower women. Ultimate referendum on your so-called vow to fight for the rights of every individual, including a woman. Thank you so much. Good night and take care.